That was the sound of metal on metal. The accident I was involved in was me versus a car. If you remember your high school physics class, force equals mass times acceleration. Let me keep it simple, even if you do love physics. But when a 4,000-pound car hits a lanky basketball player, the outcome isn't great. You see, let me paint you a picture, just for a visual. Here's a question. Which has more momentum? An 80,000-pound big rig traveling at 2 miles per hour? Or a 4,000-pound SUV traveling at 40 miles per hour? The momentum is the same. So yep, I got hit by a big rig. I broke multiple bones. My leg, from my knee to my ankle, there's a rod. My elbow, the little ball we all have, mine's metal. It makes getting through airport security tough. My hands, I've had 4 surgeries, and my neck. Yep, I broke my neck. There's metal in my neck, 2 screws, and an iron plate. You see, I was a basketball player, 6'5" when I stand up. I was in law school. I had big dreams, huge dreams. And then in a blink of an eye, it was all taken away. You see, the impact was so bad, I suffered from a brain injury. I was in a coma for 5 days. You see, I don't remember that much. 5 days in a coma was tough. I don't remember day 6. As a matter of fact, I don't remember day 15. You see, it really doesn't become clear until about week 6 of my 8-week stay in the hospital. 2 months in the hospital is a long time. You see, I remember waking up, looking out, my hospital bed, I raised myself up, and there were my boys standing in front of me. 7 feet, 6'6", 6'4", 6 feet. Yeah, some of them were in the NBA, but they were there to see me. They were there to support me. You see, at that moment I knew things were different. They weren't looking down on me in a negative way, but in concern. And I realized things had changed. Now in all of this, the person who took it the hardest was my mom. My mom was tired. She was exhausted. My mom tried to talk to everybody. The doctors, lawyers. She even tried to talk to the driver. You see, everything could have been changed had he drank a little less that night. Yep, I got hit by a drunk driver. Now, you can't think about the what ifs too much. What if I didn't go to school the day of the active shooter? What if I didn't get on that flight on 9/11? What if I didn't cross the street that day that the driver tried to drink and drive? You see, that brings me to a quote by Charles Bradbury, which says, "What if statements throw fuel on the fire of stress and worry? Things can go in a million different directions. And the more time you spend worrying about the possibilities, the less time you'll spend focusing on taking action that will calm you down and keep your stress under control." So I don't think about the what ifs too much. I more spend time thinking about what's my next move? How do I do my next move? How do I get rid of the pain? How do I make my next move considering the new direction my life is going to take? You see, my first choice in all this was, am I going to let somebody's bad decision control my life? Are you guys going to let somebody's bad decision control your lives? That got me to thinking about happy words. Happy, cheerful, fulfillment, success. And I realized that all of these words were about perspective. What perspective are we going to have on life? It was at that moment that I realized that my next choice was going to be the choice that I lived by in all of this. My next choice was going to be my most obvious choice. Okay? My next choice was going to be to never, ever, ever give up. You see, what I didn't have power over was how great my support team was. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sisters, my girlfriend, my friends. They were great. They rallied behind me. My doctors, my therapists. I want to thank them. Thank you. All of those that prayed for me, thank you. You see, their support is worth everything. Their support is worth more than money could buy. In all of this physical support, there was a lot of emotional support that I needed too. You see, I suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So all of us, I'm sure, have a little bit of stress in our lives. And the best thing about it, the thing we all need, is just someone to listen. You see, I don't know about you, but we all have these triggers, things that bring it back to us. And again, just listen to anybody who suffers from anything like this. Understand, listen. That's all you can do. So in all of this, I haven't talked about one person. The villain. The person who hit me. You see, I could give you his name. I could give you his address. But that wouldn't do any good. You see, he actually helped me find the path that God meant for me to be on. Yep, I said it. He helped me find the path that God meant for me to be on. That brings me to a quote. We are all haunted with the fear of living lives of insignificance. And we all hear the voice that tells us we can live the dream. We all hear that voice. You can live the dream. Somehow we all know that to play it safe is to lose the game. Let me repeat that. To play it safe is to lose the game. By definition, an adventure is an undertaking of enterprise of a hazardous nature. In other words, it comes at great risk and at significant cost. You see, the driver was instrumental in me finding what a traumatic injury often brings about for us. You know, when we have a traumatic injury like I did in my case, I didn't know I had intestinal fortitude. I didn't know I had grit. I didn't know I had these characteristics that obviously traumatic injuries bring out of us. That brings me to my next quote by Senator Tammy Duckworth, who lost both of her legs. She says, sometimes it takes dealing with a disability, the trauma, the relearning, the months or years of rehab therapy to uncover our true abilities and how we can put them to work for us in a way we never imagined. You see, in all of this, these type of things make me think about NFL players. You know, oftentimes they suffer from concussions. They suffer from mental injuries where they just don't know why they're doing things, but they do them anyway. In all of this, these devastating events, they pull back layers. I know that if this event pulled back a layer that I didn't have. And underneath these layers are parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. I didn't know that I had intestinal fortitude. I didn't know that I was strong. I didn't know that I was a fighter. You see, from the so-called villain, I asked myself before he and I met, was I really living? Through him, I found and uncovered these characteristics that I didn't know I had. Was I really living? So, with all of the cheerleading, mom, dad, family, friends. It was time to do the work, right? Nobody could do it for me. It was time for me to put the work in. So I returned home and I started to put the work in. Started to do the work. Okay? I returned home like this. You see, when I got home, in my living room, there was a bed, a love seat, and a TV. My new room was the living room. This was my home. I couldn't move anything. Everybody in here, wriggle your toes. Easy, huh? I couldn't do it. You see, on that day when I returned home, I decided that day I was training for the marathon. That was the choice I made. I was training for the marathon. With that, it started. Every day, my nurse, work on my toes, work on my arms. A couple months after this, I finally could sit up. So one day, I get out of this bed right here, I sit and I look at the love seat. It's only 2 steps away, but it seems so far. I'm sure we all experience things where it's so close, but yet it's so far. We want it, but yet it's so far. I wanted it. It was right there. I would sit there and stare. You see, I didn't know why my leg wouldn't move. So, I did what any athlete would do. I tried. My nurse, who's a big guy, could carry my weight. Troy, let's try. I throw my arm over his shoulder. My right side at this point was working. Step right, Troy. Step right. Step left, Troy. It just wouldn't go. And I tried this for months. Months on end. Can't tell you guys. I tried. Come on, Troy. Step right. Step left. Something wasn't working. The connection from the brain to the leg was not happening. One fateful day, I tried again. All right, Troy, here we go. Let's do it. Step right. Step right. Step left. It worked. It moved. You guys have no idea the smile that was put on my face that day. But I was only halfway there. You see, oftentimes when we get halfway there, we become excited, but we have to finish the job. So the second step. Troy, step right, step right, step left, step left. I had made it. I had made it. You see, I remember sitting down on the couch. I took a seat. Sweat coming down my face. I just won the marathon. And I realized sitting there that I was going to have to continue to make difficult choices, the hard choice, but the obvious choice was just continue to push on. To continue to push on. That was the only choice that I was going to continue to make. That leads me to this quote. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. By Mandino. You see, for me, taking off the wheelchair, taking off my cane, taking off these braces, there might be small steps for you, but they're large steps for me. And so, my support team rallied around me during my crucial times. As a matter of fact, therapy I did was for everybody. Every therapy session I went to was for everybody. This was for everybody. Now, I'm sure some of you might have cooked a meal, right? You're cooking. Your friends are waiting for you to give them food. When's the meal going to be done? they ask. We're hungry, they say. And you realize you're nourishing them. Nourishing them is different from feeding them. You're nourishing them. You're fulfilling something for them. And that's what my therapy was. You know, it's something in a traumatic injury, when a traumatic event occurs, everybody involved in it is hurt. Everybody involved in it needs healing. And each step along the way, I knew that my choice was for them. You see, my reality became this. That you only have one shot. There's only one life we live. Because guess what? When it's over, it's just that. It's over. So from that day forward, I continued to live, and I continued to work like I'm running a marathon. So, in all of this work that I put in, it made me think about the story of two brothers. Little brother, big brother. Of course, big brother's better at everything than little brother. Little brother one day challenges him to swim in the ocean. There's a buoy out, 100 yards. Go. They start swimming. Halfway there, big brother looks up, little brother's neck and neck. Big brother takes a look up 5 seconds later, little brother is ahead of him. Big brother keeps swimming, looks up again, little brother is there. Little brother won. How did little brother win? Right? You see, big brother got to little brother. He said, little brother, what did you do differently? How did you beat me? Little brother said it was easy. I figured it out. I figured out how to win. He said, I didn't save anything back, anything for the swim back. I saved nothing for the way back. You see, a lot of us live life waiting and saving our energy, our time, our words for the swim back. I'll tell you this, I can't live, I don't live, you shouldn't live thinking about the swim back. Give it all you've got now. You see, this leads me to a quote by a great man, a man I love, by my father, President Brown. He says this, you can be pulled by passion or you can be pushed by fear. It doesn't matter which one it is, just recognize it. So are you pulled by passion or are you pushed by fear? So today, I ride my bike. Today, my girlfriend and I, we go to Soul Cycle. I love it. I love the competition. Okay? I love the community. You see, Soul Cycle to me was the home where I didn't feel different. I didn't feel insecure. My 4th month into Soul Cycle, riding my bike, I'm on my way home. Last song, we're on our way home. I fell off the bike. I fell off a moving, stationary bike. Again, another choice moment. I laid on the ground, looking up at my knee, thinking, man, I just tore my ACL. I know I did something. They got me off the bike, carried me into the hallway. Everybody came by. Troy, are you okay? I'm okay. You know, you put that smile on. But I was hurting. I was bruised, mentally and physically. So I went to the doctor, like any person would do. Doctor said, Troy, you're fine. Okay. I went home, had a conversation with myself. Troy, you're fine. You see, again, another choice moment came. Was I going to pick myself up and get back on the bike? Or was I going to never ride again? What do you think I did? I was there the next day. The hard choice, but the obvious choice. I rode my bike. This brings me to a quote. If God handed us everything we wanted, He would be taking from us our greatest prize, the joy of achievement. How good does it feel to achieve something? So let me tell you guys, I won't dunk again. I won't play golf with my dad. I won't carry groceries up the stairs for my mom. I won't run with my brother. What I will choose to do is live every day like it's my last. I'm going to choose every day to inspire. You see, the villain in my story, in that moment, he hurt me, but he didn't take away my choices. What the villain actually helped me do is realize at the end of the day, I am the power and I have the ability to choose my end result. Which brings me to a quote, my final quote. How many of us haven't spent many moments reflecting on moments lost? All the time unaware that moments lost and regret are exactly that, moments lost. If you could take a moment, seize it, and squeeze out of it all that life available within it, shouldn't that moment be in the future rather than in the past? What if you knew something somewhere in front of you was a moment that would change your life forever? A moment rich with potential, a moment filled with endless possibilities. What if you knew that there was a moment coming, a divine moment, one where God would meet you in such a way that nothing would be the same again? What if there was a moment, a defining moment, where the choices you made determine the course and momentum of your life and your future? How would you treat that moment? How would you prepare for it? How would you identify it? You see, for me, I live every day like it's that moment. For me, I know that this is the path that God put me on. And I know that my healing is going to continue. You see, it's a little bit of God. It's a little bit of me. And a lot of bit of prayer. Don't forget to make the right choice. Thank you.